I used to live in Europe, in beautiful country with lots of sheep, leprechauns and Guinness. Ring the bell? No, it's not Vietnam, it's Ireland. We spent there almost 4 years and then we moved to Singapore. In this video you will learn why Europeans are flooding Singapore more and more and what's the biggest game changer for them to stay here forever. Okay, let's go. I'll give a comparison of Singapore and Ireland, but this video is also applicable to the UK, as culturally the UK and Ireland are pretty similar. After these words, I think I'll be beaten up by both my British and Irish friends. Alright, in the previous videos I told you that I've been living in Singapore for 3 years, but I lied to you. Though last time we moved to Singapore in 2018, me and my wife, girlfriend at the time, spent a half a year in Singapore in 2014 as she was doing her MBA in INSEAD. And back then I just left my marketing job for Gucci and I started my own company. Long story short, after Singapore we lived for a few months in France and Spain before we settled up in Ireland for 4 years. But throughout this time, we were constantly thinking that we want to go back to our favorite country, Singapore, and here's why. The first one is the weather. I know, many of you guys hate that it's so hot in Singapore, but believe me, if you are born in a cold country, you would hate being constantly cold. It's brutal. Why do you need to struggle half year long? For example, you have to buy warm clothes. How about that? And here in Singapore you save a lot of money because you need only t-shirt and slippers. Then in cold countries you have to warm up your car for like 15 minutes before driving anywhere. And sometimes even shovel the snow off your car. Not the case in Singapore, obviously. And most importantly, you have to be frozen most of the time, like you are forever inside the Grab taxi in Singapore. And to be honest, I have no idea why winter still exists. Before the pandemic we went to Japan for skiing. After a couple of days I was like, what's the point for our planet to have winter at all? So Irish weather was not ideal for us. Can you imagine that when you check the forecast and you see 18 degrees Celsius, you cancel all your appointments and go directly to the beach. Okay, next one is Ireland, and Europe in general are too relaxed for me. Again, I know many people are complaining about a terrible work-life balance in Singapore, but if you are keen to work on your career or build a business, it's much more organic when you are surrounded by more motivated and self-driven people like you see here in Singapore. Although I run my business fully remotely and I have like 30 people in my team, mentally it's much easier to do it from Singapore versus Dublin. Don't get me wrong, Ireland is a nice and lovely country. People are friendly, nature is beautiful. It's just not my type, and it's not about you, it's about me. This is wrong, but it is what it is. And even I sometimes feel injustice, especially when people watch my videos from the beginning to the end and then just leave. No hi, no bye, no like, no subscription. Why you so like that?
Stop crying. Stop crying.
Please, don't be like that. Like and subscribe now. By the way, there is something very unique about Singapore. Although it's hot climate, the pace of the city is still very dynamic. In my experience, the warmer the country, the less business and career oriented it is. For example, for me it was nearly impossible to work from the Canary Islands in Spain. The next one is the income tax. In most of the European countries, income taxes are crazy high. In Ireland you will end up paying like 40% for a decent salary, and in some European countries you'll have to give up to the government up to 60% of your money. Feels like communism. While in Singapore you pay just around 10 to 15% depending on your salary. 22% is the highest possible rate. So you can go to KTV much more often here than in Europe. You subscribe, Liao? Alright, let's continue. Where else? We have a 4-year-old daughter, and in Ireland, if we wanted to put her in a decent school, we would need to sign up for it before we conceived her. I'm not kidding. The queue for good schools is literally like several years, and the best schools have a very strong Catholic heritage. And I and my wife are not religious people, so I don't really want my kid to grow up around this. By the way, you see, my videos are extremely funny, and I wanted to make a joke related to the last sentence, but maybe next time. Might be too harsh. What do you think? Are religion and topics around it suitable for irony and satire here in Singapore? Can you share your thoughts in the comment section? Thank you. Okay, continue with schools. In Singapore, international schools are quite expensive. It's true, but there are so many options for good schools with no queue at all. And if we want to save money, it's also possible to send Lisa to a local school, which is much cheaper. And actually, I have some expat friends who choose a local school over an international one. Also, because Singapore is revising its primary school system now to be less strict and not to based only on math and stuff, to be more flexible and covering more like soft skills development as well. Safety. Being robbed in Europe is not a big deal. It's like, oh, I had my breakfast, then I got robbed, and then I went to my manicure. Most of my friends from Ireland experienced stealing something from them. The phone being pulled out from your hands in daylight, the bike being stolen with its lock cable cut off. It's pretty normal in Dublin. While in Singapore, if my wife is going out with friends and it's 10 p.m. and I want to sleep, I'll just go to bed and sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. It's very, very safe in Singapore compared to other big cities worldwide. Okay, and the last point why we left Singapore is how people in Ireland end up a phone call. How you do it here in Singapore? Okay, bye. How you do it in Ireland? Okay, bye. Bye. Bye bye. Bye. Alright, maybe the last one was not the biggest reason. Or, okay, bye. Bye bye. Bye.